This is perfect for the Edmonton Oilers as an unlikely hero steps up amongst the chaos as the Oilers cruise to a 4-2 win against the Nashville Predators, and everyone seemed to be on the scoring sheet that you wouldn't think would be on the scoring sheet. All that and more today on Oilers Digest, but before we get into all the game recap, make sure to subscribe here to the channel as we are on the road to 2,200 subscribers. There is no better time than now to join us here on Oilers Digest as we, cover the very interesting start to the season. But without further ado, picking up the win. Yes, the Oilers rolled into Bridgestone Arena last night in Nashville. The mayor of Nashville, Leon Draisaitl, returns home, and the Oilers do pick up the win by a score of 4-2. Of course, Nashville heading into the game 0-3. In previous years, the Oilers would be the ones to be the streak slump busters. Teams would be on a losing streak and the Oilers would be the ones to break it, but that is not the case last night as Philip Forsberg scored 11 minutes into the first period and everyone thought, here we go again, but Brett Kulak was here to save the day, tying the game at 1 heading into the first intermission. In the second period, Jeff Skinner makes it 2-1 Oilers as there's a bit of a commotion in the crease around UC Saros, but Jeff Skinner finds a way to put it in the back of the net, making it 2-1 Oilers. Jonathan Marchessault on the power play, a bit of a redirection past Calvin Pickard there. UC Saros getting the secondary assist. I mean, it was a fantastic pass up to Roman Josi, but nonetheless, 44 seconds later, Connor McDavid with his first of the year makes it 3-2 Oilers, and the Oilers locked it down for the majority of the third period, while Brett Kulak gets his second of the game, making it his first career 2-goal game in the NHL. So you love to see it. I mean, stats that you wouldn't think happened did occur last night for the Edmonton Oilers. And of course, looking at the advanced stats here, 36 shots on net for the Oilers. I mean, lots of positives. The only, a glaring error, again, 0 for 4 on the power play, but it is still young in the season to figure out that kink. And of course, 15 block shots by the Nashville Predators, but the Oilers still managed to get 36 past. I mean, that is nothing but an offensive onslaught last night in Nashville. And Bob Stauffer here, the color commentator for the Oilers Radio Network, provides this a poised professional road performance from the Oilers last night in Nashville. Of course, Brett Kulak, 2 goals. Darnell Nurse, momentum-changing fight. And not only did it change the momentum of the game in favor for the Oilers, it also got him off the ice for 5 minutes. Calvin Pickard solid with 25 saves, and McDavid 1 goal and points in 4 straight games. Of course, the defensive side of the Oilers here, again, just fantastic through and through. Ekholm and Bouchard, the bona fide first pairing for the Oilers, providing fantastic stats. Nurse and Stetcher, you can see there the advanced stats weren't in favor of them, but I think they played a pretty decent game. Nurse and Stetcher, that is the second pairing I really like for the Edmonton Oilers with the resources that they currently have so far. And Brett Kulak in Ty Emberson, again, being a great third pairing. Of course, Brett Kulak, I mean, a third pairing defenseman getting 2 goals. You can't complain about that at all. And when it comes to these scoring chances for both teams, with this handy-dandy graph here, the Oilers were all over UC Saros last night, as provided by that second goal by Jeff Skinner, where everyone swarmed the crease and they found a way to jam it in. Meanwhile, with Nashville, Calvin Pickard didn't have that busy of a game. The first goal was a sort of a misplay by Darnell Nurse on the PK, trying to clear it out of the zone. Couldn't, but it came back to Brady Shea, and he made it 1-0, or 2-2 Preds, I should say, for the Oilers. I mean, PK struggles, it's not all that, but when it comes to the Oilers, again, Calvin Pickard didn't have that busy of a night, and it's good to see there. Of course, a 9-2-6. I mean, when it comes to his previous performance against the Chicago Blackhawks, 5 goals allowed on 20 shots. This is a pretty good bounce-back game. Of course, he was interviewed before the game, and he just saw this as a bounce-back opportunity. You have to have a short-term memory in the league, and that pretty much proves that, Calvin Pickard shook off the Chicago loss and came into this one and stood tall at the end. And Brett Kulak, after the game, he was asked about the Oilers' game plan heading into this one, and he said, we kept it pretty simple, and we got to understand it's not always going to go perfect. I think that's put a lot of pressure on ourselves to start the season well. I think the first few games you get so discouraged when it's not going perfect, but I thought it was just like that tonight. We just stuck with the game plan and chipped away and found a way to get the puck in the back of the net. Now the Oilers, this is good. They are trying to keep things simple. for the time being. You don't have to do any fancy stuff right now. You just got to play your game, got to chip away at it, and it should prove well for them later on. But later on, speaking of which, what's next? Yes, the Oilers do hit the road again for their next game against the Dallas Stars, but there's a little history in the making here from Captain Connor McDavid. While everyone waits patiently for McDavid to score his 1,000th career point, he currently sits at 987 after this win, still 13 points away. There is another milestone that he could potentially set before that one, and this would make Oilers history. This was his 70th career game winner as a member of the Edmonton Oilers, putting him just 2 back of Glenn Anderson for the most in franchise history. I mean, when it comes to offensive stats from 80s Oilers, Glenn Anderson, a bit of a surprising name there. I mean, no disrespect to Glenn Anderson at all. I mean, the guy was an overtime a wizard throughout his entire career, but to not see a guy like Messier or Gretzky at the top of this list, it's nice to see some variety. So Connor, I mean, yeah, 70 career game winner. I mean, the guy is clutch when it matters. And, of course, the Oilers do head into Dallas tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. Mountain Time on Sportsnet. And, I mean, this is a rematch of the 2024 Western Conference Finals, one that is anticipated by a lot of people, myself included. So let's take a look at Dallas themselves. 5 games played, 4-1. They just came off a regulation loss to the Washington Capitals, but they still sit atop the Central Division. Just looking at their forwards, I mean, a very deep core. You got the usual suspects: Jason Robinson, Rupe Hintz, Wild Johnston, Evgeny Dodonov, Matt Duchene, Jamie Benn on the third line, still being a little bit useful for the Dallas Stars. Logan Stankoven also on that line, and Sam Steele, one of the best fourth line players in the NHL. A lot of teams passed over Sam Steele, but he has found his way into the Dallas lineup. In their defensive pairings, Thomas Harley, Miro Heiskanen, Esa Lindell, Nils Lundqvist, Brendan Smith, and Ilya Lyubushkin. So a lot of grit on this Dallas Stars team, and the Oilers should not take that lightly. And they should also not take their power play lightly, too, going only 1 for 13 on the power play so far. Of course, it's still early in the season, but it's also it helps to know that the Oilers can win games without their power play so far. I mean, their only power play goal did come against the Chicago Blackhawks in the second game of the season, but 1 for 13. A lot of perimeter play on the power play, so the Oilers, hopefully they shake things up. I don't think we'll see a personal change on the power play. I mean, they're sticking with what's worked up the past 2 or 3 years when they've been sitting at 30% on the power play. I know lots of people have called for a guy like Jeff Skinner on the power play, but he's a lot better 5-on-5 career wise. So I think the Oilers will just stick with what happens, and if things get dire, sure, that is when you make a change. But that's it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of last night's game, and what are your thoughts against the Oilers Western Conference rematch against the Dallas Stars tomorrow afternoon. I'm excited for it, and you should be too. We will have a game recap for you after that one. So let me know down in the comments. Again, have yourselves a fantastic day and enjoy the games tonight. I'm Matt.